Hey, what up, YouTube? This is your boy coming to you with another Blerd broadcast video where we review everything from comic books to animated movies to video games to sci-fi and all of nerd culture. Today, we are bringing you this article via Bounding into Comics. Marvel licenses Stan Lee's likeness. New Deal opens door for CGI appearances of legendary creator in Disney theme parks and future MCU projects. So hopefully we can get into what that means, what this article is about, and why I don't think that's a good idea, to be honest. But before we get into that, make sure you like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers. It's a small goal, but it's my goal because I'm trying to get a custom URL. Apparently you need 100 subscribers to get a custom URL. So subscribe to the channel and share the video because maybe somebody else will subscribe to the channel and I can get my 100 subscribers. So let's get up into this. Let's talk about this terrible idea. Like I said, via Bounding in the Comics. Apparently Marvel has licensed Stan Lee's likeness in a new deal. And I don't think this is a good idea. In the latest adherence by Disney to their legacy desecrating creed of no one's ever really gone, Marvel Studios has signed a new deal to license the likeness of Stan Lee, the terms of which allow for the company to use his image however they see fit, including the possible use of CGI to revive the iconic comic book creator for future MCU appearances. Hopefully, man, if you can't tell that that's a terrible idea, then I don't know what to tell you. Apparently, yeah, this deal will allow them to use his likeness in certain ways, like whether it be, like I said, at a Disney theme park, TV shows, movies, films, merchandising. So now they essentially get to use Stan Lee as a puppet, and to me, that's weird. Apparently that license does not extend to VR and video games, which it's kind of weird that I don't understand why that license does not go that route. But okay. So apparently, they got this, like, the exclusive rights to use his existing images and archive records. And they say, okay, well, it really ensures that Stan, through digital technology and archival footage and other forms, will live on in the most important venue, the Marvel movies, the Disney theme parks. And I don't think that's the most important venue. I really don't. Marvel movies are not doing well. They use every opportunity that they can to turn them into a political activist movie. Disney theme parks, I only really attend one, so I can't even really speak on it. I think I've only been to the one in California, so I can't really speak on theme parks. But as far as movies go and TVs and TV shows and all kind of stuff, I think that's weird. Because, like I said, they've turned into a political piece instead of a space for everyone to enjoy. So like I said, they're going to be using it, and in this article, they reference a movie called Weekend at Bernie's. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen Weekend at Bernie's. If you haven't, it's a pretty good movie. Hopefully, I'm not dating myself, but if you haven't seen Weekend at Bernie's, then you're not going to get that reference. But if you have, you understand. Essentially, it's two individuals that there's an individual who dies, and they are trying to make it seem like he's still alive. So they're carrying him and putting him in like sunglasses and on golf carts and stuff like that, whatever, and cruising around with him all weekend. And the dude is dead. The guy is dead, and it's weird. It's super weird. So to even use that reference, or that reference is very fitting for this article and for that whole entire the deal that they even made, because they're essentially trying to Weekend at Bernie's Stan Lee and use him as the face or an image to essentially, in the way the MCU has been going, I feel like they're going to use it to him to shit on the MCU and Marvel Comics. So it says, noting that future MCU cameos by Stan Lee come in a form different from how fans traditionally knew him. So now you're about to use him, like I said, as your puppet to do whatever it is you want to do with the films and the TV shows. And and it says, insiders explain that the public distaste for such CGI revivals. On here, they talk about Peter Cushing and Carrie Fisher, and they talk about how those were terribly done, and fans really didn't appreciate it. They did not. They were kind of, they thought it was distasteful. And it said, they've cautioned the studio away from exploring that ghoulish route, because it is kind of creepy, if we're being real. It is kind of weird for them to essentially zombify, which they used that phrase in this article, zombify an individual who's already passed and put him in a movie. And then now you have to see that individual, and maybe that person's, you understand that person to be dead, and now they are in the movie walking and talking, which is kind of weird. So, despite the publicly noted rejection of the digital zombification of late actor Haywood hinted that such a move was not completely out of the cards for Marvel, because I feel like they'll use anything and take any route that they can, because they're we need to make money, and I understand they're a company, so that's kind of their bottom line. But at the same time, have some respect, man. Like that's weird to me that there's no line that can't be crossed when there's money involved. To me, that's very, very strange. The audience revered Stan, and if it's done with taste and class and respectful of who he was, the use of his likeness will be welcomed. He is the beloved personality, and long after you and I are gone, he will remain the essence of Marvel. But you don't need to. For this to work, you don't need to turn him into a CGI character. You really don't. Much how they did Egon in the recent Ghostbusters film. I think there was a statue of him or a photo of him or a painting or something like that, but they didn't have him walking around, walking and talking and whatnot or whatever. I feel like they did a pretty good job at putting, ending that chapter with respect and the whole nine. They didn't have him cruising around with like an Egon face. You know what I mean? Even the Paul Walker send off, you know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. They used his brother, they used his likeness, and then it was like a quick glance. It had a little, quick face situation, and then they were like, all right, boom. And then it was over. It wasn't crazy. Then I didn't have him like walking around, and I don't know. And it's weird to me because, in my personal opinion, I honestly think this is one of those things where MCU is going downhill. It really is. It's really bad. And I feel like they're going to use Stan Lee's likeness as a Trojan horse, either to be like, hey, get on board because this is what Stan Lee would have said or would have done, or they're just going to use him as essentially like a puppet to further agendas in movies. And if you haven't noticed that, then I am sorry for you. But it's clear. It's very obvious these days how that they are pushing these ideas and that they are doing these things in movies and TV. Even Stan Lee's own words, in his own words, he did not want to make things political, which is crazy because I think people are strange that try to do that when Marvel Comics is a space for everybody, just like he says right here.
He's tried to do our stories so that it didn't matter if you were of the white race, the black race, the brown race, or whatever. So social issues I try to get in the background or underlaying a plot, but never to the point of letting it interfere with the story or hitting the reader over the head.
So that kind of says it all. Even certain things, how the society and Twitter and the internet and stuff like that tried to say, Professor X and Magneto were based on Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. He wasn't, and they said in that was debunked and the whole nine, and they said that that's not what they were created for. That's not what they were created for. But if they're using Stan Lee's likeness, they can essentially create whatever story they want behind what Stan Lee would have said or would have thought or whatever the case is. And I think they can essentially destroy the magic behind the man. Because to a lot of people, Stan Lee is like, he's the father of comic books, essentially. Like, he created all these characters that everyone loves and everyone grew up with. And now they, like I said, they can use them as a puppet to create whatever agenda or whatever idea they want. And that's why I think it's a terrible idea. I hope they don't go too far, or maybe, like I said, like a photo here and there, maybe a painting or something as a cameo or a likeness, but no kind of CG, just let the man rest in peace. So, but that's all I got for this video. Like I said, make sure you like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and jump over to my Twitch so that you can follow me over there so I can maybe hit affiliation. So, but that's all I got for the video. Appreciate you guys for watching. Have a good one. Gone.